Welcome to VNews Broadcast Daily and following are the highlights.
Prime Minister Nguyễn Tấn Dũng presented a government report on socio-economic development tasks at the National Assembly session. Vietnam and the UK signed a memorandum of understanding on defense cooperation. Consumer price index increased by 0.39% in November. Vietnam and France work to enhance economic ties.
At the National Assembly sessions on November 25th, Prime Minister Nguyễn Tấn Dũng presented a government report of socio-economic development tasks for the immediate future and answered questions raised by deputies.
While answering questions regarding the socio-economic situation, Prime Minister Dũng said the government has taken a flexible and cautious monetary policy in order to both control inflation and ensure economic growth as required by the National Assembly. On restructuring of the economy, the leader emphasized the need to phase out scattered investment, speed up the reform of state-owned enterprises, and foster varied investment forms such as build, transfer, build, operate, transfer, build, transfer, operate, and public-private partnerships. Regarding national sovereignty, Prime Minister Dũng said that Vietnam will solve difficulties and affirm its sovereignty over Hoàng Sa and Trường Sa archipelagos and territorial waters within the country's exclusive economic zone and continental shelf. The government leader said that Vietnam has adequate legal and historical grounds to affirm that Hoàng Sa and Trường Sa archipelagos belong to Vietnam. At the session, Prime Minister Dũng also answered deputies' questions about other issues relating to people's lives, such as land planning, quality of human resource training, and policies to attract investment.
National Assembly Chairman Nguyễn Sinh Hùng met visiting Israeli President Shimon Peres in Hanoi on November 24th. During the meeting, Mr. Hùng proposed him to support cooperative activities between the two parliaments.
These activities include exchange of high-ranking and committee-level delegations and parliamentary friendship groups, coordination and mutual support at multilateral parliamentary forums, and cooperation in reviewing agreements between the two countries. Hùng also urged the two sides to boost ties in various areas, especially agricultural product processing. President Peres said Israel is able to support and cooperate with Vietnam in trade, processing, and production of goods. He expressed his pleasure with development of ties between the two national assemblies. He said he hoped the two countries would see more bilateral visits by parliamentarians and leaders of the two national assemblies, marking a new chapter in the two sides' cooperative ties.
Prime Minister Nguyễn Tấn Dũng received a visiting Albanian Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Edmond Haginasto in Hanoi on November 24th.
The Prime Minister said Haginasto's visit will open a new page in consolidating bilateral ties on the basis of each country's strength. He suggested the two countries continue to promote economic cooperation and advance to sign agreements on investment protection and double taxation avoidance and increase education cooperation. Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Haginasto spoke highly of Vietnam's role in its tenure as non-permanent member of the United Nations Security Council. He said he hopes the two countries will continue to collaborate at international and regional forums. Earlier the same day, Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Haginasto held talks with Foreign Minister Phạm Bình Minh, during which they signed a protocol on cooperation between the two foreign ministries.
President Trương Tấn Sang highlighted a lift in ties, particularly in trade between Vietnam and Nicaragua, at his meeting with Nicaraguan Foreign Minister Samuel Santos Lopez in Hanoi on November 25th.
At the meeting, President Sang suggested that the two sides promote the exchange of business missions to seek mutual investment opportunities. He affirmed willingness to help Nicaragua in fields of Vietnam's strength, such as agriculture and telecoms. Minister Samuel Santos Lopez expressed his admiration at Vietnam's historical tradition and the great achievements recorded by the Vietnamese people during the past 20 years of renewal. He briefed the president on the results of his talks with Foreign Minister Phạm Bình Minh and stressed that the two sides agreed to boost cooperation in trade, agriculture, telecoms, and infrastructure construction in Nicaragua.
President of the Vietnam Fatherland Front, Huỳnh Đàm, held talks with Phan Dương Chít Vong Sa, chairman of the Lao Front for National Construction, in Vientiane on November 24th.
The two officials agreed to propagandize the Vietnam-Laos traditional friendship, special solidarity, and comprehensive cooperation among the people, especially young generations. They agree upon measures to effectively implement agreements signed between the two parties and states, particularly those in economics, culture, science, education, healthcare, and environment. They said they will guide the front chapters in border areas to engage local residents in assisting each other, maintaining border security, and building a common border of peace.
Vietnam and the United Kingdom have signed a memorandum of understanding to promote defense cooperation, thus elevating the strategic partnership between the two countries.
Deputy Minister of Defense Lieutenant General Nguyễn Chí Vịnh and Lord Astor of Hever, Parliamentary Under-Secretary of State for Defense, inked the document during the Vietnamese officer's visit to the UK from November the 23rd to 25th. The MOU is to provide a framework for enhancing the bilateral relations and cooperation between the two ministries in a number of areas, including the exchange of views and information on defense-related matters, frequent exchange of delegations, cooperation of defense industry, and cooperation on training officers and technical staffs.
The General Statistics Office has announced that the Consumer Price Index in November rose 0.39% against last month. The figure represents a year-on-year increase of 19.38%.
According to the office, 8 out of 11 commodity groups recorded increases of less than 1%, while the 3 remaining groups, transport, post-schedule, entertainment, and tourism, saw reduction. The reduction in prices of foodstuff was attributed to slowing the rise of consumer price index. However, restaurants and food services are on the rising trend due to a higher price. Vegetables, processed food after floods devastated central and southern provinces. To limit the impact of CPI rises, ministries, sectors, and localities are requested to ensure supply of essential goods, especially to meet people's demands during the upcoming traditional New Year Tet festival.
The second meeting of the France-Vietnam Supreme Council for Economic Cooperation's Development took place in Paris on November 24th. Vietnamese Deputy Prime Minister of Planning and Investment Cao Viet Sinh and French Minister for Economy, Finance and Industry François Barrang co-chaired the meeting.
The conference aimed to review and assess the implementation of economic cooperation projects signed between the two countries and discuss measures to remove difficulties hindering the implementation of the projects. France has invested in 336 projects in Vietnam with a combined registered capital of nearly $3 billion. Two-way trade value has grown strongly, reaching $2 billion in 2010 and is estimated to hit $2.5 billion this year. Besides, France has provided over $2 billion in official development assistance for Vietnam.
A new survey shows that recent historic floods in Thailand have caused losses up to $36 billion to the country's economies, trade and tourism. The figure is equivalent to 10% Thailand's GDP.
The figure released by the Federation of Thai Industries is higher than the estimate of 2.32% of GDP announced earlier by the National Committee on Socio-Economic Development. The Federation also predicted that the Thai economy will grow only 1.5 to 1.8% this year, much lower than the level of 2.5% forecast by a number of agencies and organizations. The worst floods in 50 years in Thailand have caused heavy losses to production and made serious impacts on export, forcing hundreds of companies and enterprises to shut down and making 500,000 workers unemployed, especially in the car and electronic industries.
And this comes to the end of the news today. Thanks for watching and see you next time.